This is Advanced Math, Lesson 7.1. The title is Right Triangle Trig. You will be needing a scientific calculator, and the tools we're going to be using are, the first tool is the tools we used last semester, which is the SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent. The next one are tools that you used, we also used this one last semester as well. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, Pythagorean's theorem. Next one is that angle C is going to be your right angle. It's going to equal 90 degrees. And your next one is something that's true for all triangles, and it's that the sum of your interior angles are 180 degrees. So we're going to write that like this: angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 degrees. All right, so those are the tools we are going to use to solve the problems we're going to be working with. All right, solve. We're going to be solving triangles. What does it mean to solve triangles? I'm going to put in parentheses here. That means to find all missing sides. Find all missing sides and angles. Find all missing sides and angles. All right. So on a triangle, on a problem, when it says solve, that's what it means. Find all missing sides and angles. Okay, number one, A equals 72 degrees and C equals 18. Okay. Now, there's going to be like uppercase letters and lowercase letters, and it's kind of hard to see with the C. Is that uppercase or lowercase? Here's how you tell. Uppercase are angles, lowercase are sides, and I can tell because of that degree symbol that that is an angle, and because this does not have the degree symbol, that is a side. You guys see that? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is draw a picture, a triangle. Now I'm going to draw my triangle like this. Now you do not have to draw it like this. If you draw your right triangle rotated a different way, it doesn't matter as long as you label it properly. Now I'm going to label mine like this: A, B, C. Again, you can label it different: BAC, CBA. As long as you label these things, put those in the correct spot, we should end up with the same answers in the end. Okay, now I'm going to put in what's given to me. They give me that angle A is 72 degrees. Now if you put your angle A down here, then you would put your 72 degrees down there. So just, if you draw your picture differently, your information is going to be in different places. Okay. Now side C is across from angle C. So this is angle C, this is side C. Side A is across from angle A, so, or opposite. Opposite angle A is side A. Opposite angle B is side B. And I use lowercase letters to represent sides. Opposite angle A is side A. Opposite angle B is side B. Any questions on how I labeled all of that? Questions? No questions? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to list them all out, and then I'll box in the ones they're asking me for. So I'm going to list them all. Angle A, angle B, angle C, little a, little b, little c. Now, they've given me A is 72 degrees and C is 18. So this is what I'm looking for. And this, and A and B. Now I just listed everything just to kind of keep it organized, ABC, ABC, but I'm only boxing in what I don't know. Okay, but again, I'm trying to keep it organized. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Angle C should be super easy. What is the measure of angle C? 90. All right. Now, angle B, because we know the sum of the interior angles is 180, can we also find angle B? Yes. We know that 72 degrees plus 90 degrees plus angle B equals 180 degrees. Go ahead and solve that now. Add and subtract from 180. Go ahead and do that now. Add and subtract from 180. Alex B, can you tell me what you got? He said 18 degrees. Do you guys all agree? Yes? Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to find is side A and side B. Do you guys agree I do not have enough information to use Pythagorean's theorem? Right? In order to use Pythagorean's theorem, I need to know two sides and look for my third side. But all I know is one side. If I only know one side, do I have enough to find the other two sides? Okay, so what I'm going to have to use then is the SOHCAHTOA. Got it? So to use SOHCAHTOA, I need to know an angle and a side. Do I know an angle? And do I know a side? Okay, I also know angle B. But I'm not going to use angle B, I can, but I'm just going to use angle A because I feel like it. So I'm going to put my pencil marking here. So why am I putting my dot there? Because I'm using angle A as my reference angle, as my starting angle, as my sitting point. Why? Because I want to. Now, if you want to use your angle B, then you're going to put your pencil marking there instead, which you totally can do because that's your choice. Okay, because I'm choosing A, I'm going to label all of my sides in reference to A. Now, what is 18 regardless of where I'm sitting? Hypotenuse. Doesn't matter where I'm sitting, 18 is the hypotenuse. Okay, what is side A in reference to angle A? Opposite or adjacent? Opposite. Do you guys agree it's opposite? Yes or no? Now what about B? Adjacent. Now, if one of you chose to sit at angle B because you wanted to, you said, no, I don't want to use angle A, I want to use angle B, and you put your pencil marking here, would 18 still be the hypotenuse? Now, these two would switch. This would then be the opposite, and this would then be the adjacent. Do you agree? Now, that's fine. You could do that. Our answers, I promise you, would still end up the same in the end. Your work would look different. Our work would look different, but our answers would end up the same in the end. Okay. I am going to work it out. I'm going to find side A first, only because I want to. It comes first in the alphabet, so I'm going to find that one first. So, A is opposite, and I'm using the known side, which is the hypotenuse. So using SOHCAHTOA, which one uses opposite over hypotenuse? O over H. Sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine. So I'm going to use sine of what? Sine of what? 72 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. So A over 18. And what do I multiply both sides by? 18. Gone. Multiply by 18. Do you guys see how that works? And then this here is what I plug in the calculator. So plug that in now. 18 times sine of 72. 18 times sine of 72. Enter and round to 3 decimal places. A equals 17 point what? 119. And it's going to be pretty much 3 decimal places across the board. 17.19. Even if the book says otherwise, use 3 decimal places because that's what it's going to ask for on the test. Okay. All right, and now let's find side B. Now, if I wanted to, I'm going to choose not to, but if I wanted to, could I now use Pythagorean's theorem? A squared plus B squared equals C squared, if I wanted to. If you wanted to, could you? Yeah, you could. Go ahead if you want to. I'm going to choose not to. I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA again. I'm looking for side B, and I'm still going to use the hypotenuse. So which one deals with adjacent over hypotenuse? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Cosine. Cosine of still angle 72 equals adjacent, which is side B, over hypotenuse, which is 18. This time I'm still going to multiply by what? 18. And this time I'm going to plug in my calculator, 18 times cosine of 72. 18 times cosine of 72. B equals 5 point what? 562. Is that what you guys got? Is that a yes? Okay. Any questions? Okay. Number 2. Another solve. A equals 2, B equals 3. Okay, going to draw my picture. A, B, C. Lowercase a is opposite angle A, so this here is the 2. Lowercase b is opposite angle B, so this here is the 3. And let's label angle A, angle B, angle C, little a, little b, little c. And given to us was little a and little b. So we are looking for angles A, B, and C, and lowercase c. All right, what do we know right off? Angle C is what? 90. And can you use Pythagorean's theorem to find side C? Yes? Okay. I'm going to have you work with your shoulder partner right now to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Go ahead and do that now. I'm going to have you really quick check your calculators. Can you guys, before you do it, go to mode and make sure you're on classic. Click down. If you're on math print, it's going to look like that. Just click down and hit enter on classic. So then it looks like that. And that's by hitting mode. So it's all highlighted on the left side. Hit clear once you're done, and then work it out. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Go ahead and do that now. Work it out with your shoulder partner. Check to see what you get for side C. Remember, side C is your largest side, so it should be bigger than 2 or 3. All right, what did you guys get? The square root of 13? Yeah. So 2 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 4 plus 9 equals c squared. C equals the square root of 13, which came out to be what? 3.606? Yes? And again, was that bigger than 2 and 3? Which it should be. Okay. Now, angle A and angle B. Do I have enough to add and subtract from 180? Okay. I'm going to put a star by angle A. It doesn't matter which one, A or B, whichever one you find first. Reminder, first off, all of this is review. You've done everything I've done so far, you've done back in Math 2. Do you guys remember that? Yes, you actually did it back in Math 2 pre-COVID. Before lockdown, you did it first semester. Before COVID happened, you did it right before the first semester ended. Do you guys remember how to find, and you also did it in Math 3 last year. Do you guys remember how to find unknown angles? There's a special key on your calculator you used. Does anybody remember what the special key was? We will use that key eventually. Not that key either. There is a negative key. We do use that key. We do use that second key. It's the inverse key. Okay, so here is how it works. Are we all ready? All right. Okay, so guys, whenever your angle is unknown, the angle is what you're looking for, and you do not have enough information to add and subtract from 180, you're going to end up using your inverse key, and this is how it works. First off, put your little dot like I did earlier. This time you're going to put it by the angle you're looking for. I already know C, so you're going to put it by A or B. It doesn't matter which one you want to find first. I'm just going to put it by A because I want to. If you want to find B first, then you mark B instead. Okay, because I'm finding A first, I'm going to label 3 and 2. Why 3 and 2? Because those are the two sides I know. Do I also know the hypotenuse? I do, but I don't want to work with decimals, so I'm not going to use it. I can, but I don't want to. So I'm going to label these two sides. In reference to angle A, because that's the angle I'm looking for, what is the side here, the one I'm pointing to, the side that's labeled 3? Adjacent. What is this side here that I'm pointing to, the side that's labeled 2? Now, if you wanted to find angle B first because you like B better than A, then you would have them labeled differently. You'd have them labeled opposite and adjacent. Do you agree? And that's okay. In the end, you'd end up with the same answer. Okay. Now, again, I could use the hypotenuse, but I'm choosing not to because I don't want to work with the decimal because I'm choosing not to. Got it? All right. Now, going back to SOHCAHTOA, which one deals with adjacent opposite or opposite over adjacent? TOA, tangent. So tangent of an angle, always an angle. So tangent of angle A, tangent of 3, or tangent of 2? Tangent of what? Tangent always of an angle. So tangent of angle A. I don't know what it is, but tangent of A equals what fraction? 2 over 3 or 3 over 2? It's opposite over adjacent. So tangent of A equals what over what? 2 over 3. Now I cannot plug this in my calculator. And as tempting as it is, over here I multiplied both sides by 18 and then I plugged it in my calculator. Is that what I'm going to do here? Multiply both sides by 3 and plug it in my calculator? No, because I'm going to be stuck. So here's what you're going to do. This is how you're going to plug it in your calculator. Inverse tan of 2/3 equals A. All that inverse stuff we did first semester wasn't like this. We had to draw pictures for these type of problems. We used our unit circles for nicer ones. But the inverse problems we did was working backwards. And that's what this is, working backwards. So take out our calculators, clear it. And how do we get the inverse key? Hit second tangent, and does give you tangent -1. Have we seen the -1, not on our calculators, but have we worked with the inverse problems before? Okay, tangent -1, 2, your fraction key is right here, right there. Let's see if I can point to it a little better, right there. 2 fraction 3 equals, and there's your angle. You're telling the calculator, hey, I don't know the angle, but I know it's opposite and adjacent side. Can you tell me what the angle is? And the calculator says, sure, here it is, and gives you the angle. Got it? 3 decimal places, 33.690, and yes, you need the 0. People often say, well, if it's 0, you don't need it. You don't need the 0 if it ended at 369. but there's numbers after it, so if you're rounding, you do meet the 0. 33.690 degrees. Now, you could use the inverse key again, but do you at this point have enough to add and subtract? Do that now. Add and subtract from 180. Add these two and subtract from 180. Okay, what do you get? 56.310? Yes?
It's just
310? No?
No, just 310. Depends if you rounded if you're using the 3 decimal point of A. If you are using the 3 decimal point to find it, then it's just 3-1.
Oh, it's 56.30.
Okay. Okay.
Same rocket science.
All right. Questions? Okay, moving on. Number 3. A 20-foot ladder leans against a house. This one's a pretty basic one, and it is one, again, you did back in Math 2. And I will tell you right now, they definitely get a lot harder by the time we get to the test. So pretty basic right now. You should feel like, oh, this is easy. That's a good thing. It should feel easy. Its angle of elevation is 50 degrees. Find the height from the ground to the top of the ladder. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our picture. Here's our ground. Here's our house. And here is our ladder. And obviously the house makes a right angle with the ground. A 20-foot ladder. Now, this is the ladder, so that's where we're going to put the 20 feet. Do you guys agree? Yes? A 20-foot ladder leans against a house. Its angle of elevation. Angle of elevation is from the line of sight, in this case the ground, up. So from here up. Its angle of elevation is 50 degrees. Any questions on why put the 50 degrees there?
What's the opposite of?
Angle of depression.
Okay.
So that would, depending on where you're at, angle of depression would be, say, from here, line of sight, going down. We will be dealing with the angle of depression eventually, not right now, but we will. That's what it said here. So angle of depression, if you do see that today, it might come up. It's always from the horizontal line of sight. So let's say that's the horizontal line of sight. Angle of depression is always outside of the triangle. It's not inside, it is outside. Got it? But remember from Math 2, alternate interior angles are congruent, so are those two equal? Remember the Z shape for Math 2? Yeah? So you could bring it in because those two are congruent. Okay. All right, so find the height from the ground to the top of the ladder. So that's what we're looking for there. The height from the ground to the top of the ladder. Find the height. Okay, so we're looking for a side. We're not looking for an angle. We're looking for a side. I don't have enough information to use Pythagorean's theorem because I only know one side. So I'm going to put my marker here. That's the angle I know. That's the side I'm looking for. That's the side I know. Let's label. From this angle, what is this side? Opposite or adjacent? Opposite. What is this side? Adjacent or hypotenuse? Hypotenuse. SOHCAHTOA, which one are we going to use for opposite over hypotenuse? Which one? Sine. Sine of always an angle, so sine of 50 degrees equals h over 20. Is this one where I'm going to use the inverse key or multiply both sides by 20? Inverse key or multiply both sides by 20? Multiply by 20. Gone. And then this here is what you're going to plug in your calculator. The height equals 20 times sine of 50. Go ahead and plug that in now. 20 times sine of 50. Go ahead and plug that in now. 20 times sine of 50. 3 decimal places, 15 point what? 15.321 feet. Yes? Any questions? Okay, really quick side note, because this could possibly come up, a what if question, because it didn't happen on any of the problems we did so far. This is not in relation to the problem we just did. It's a what if it came up. What if we had something like this? Sine of 35 equals 18 over x. What if the variable we're solving for is in the denominator? Okay, so would you guys agree I would multiply both sides by x? Yes or no? Okay, now when I do that, is this ready to plug in the calculator? Everything we've had so far has been ready to plug in the calculator. What do we do at this point? Divide both sides by what? So when your x is in the denominator, or the variable, like everything so far, the variable's been in the numerator. When the variable's in the denominator, do you have an extra step? Yes or no? Yes, because then you have to divide again, and then this is what you'd plug in. Can you guys just plug that in just for practice? 18 divided by sine of 35, just to make sure we can all plug it in. And write this down just to make sure you have it in case it comes up. 18 divide by sine of 35. 18 divide sine of 35. 31 point what? 382, did everybody get that? Yes or no? Okay, so write it down, plug it in, make sure you know how to address it, because it is just an extra step, it's a little different. And I'm going to write down today's assignment, because we don't have our assignment sheet yet. It's coming out to you guys tomorrow-ish. Okay, 7.1, page 332, numbers 5 through 12, 19 through 21, and 23.